You're not bad, but you're no match for me. Meep meep. Welcome back to another squirrely Epic 7 hero review. Today we're going to talk about ML Luluca, or Top Model Luluca. She's a fairly new hero, the newest ML5 so far, and I know a lot of people picked her just because of her artwork, but she actually is a very, very good hero, and we'll get more into that soon. So as always, we'll go over her skills, her builds, a PvP showcase, and a summary, so let's just go ahead and get started right now. Alright, so let's talk about her skills. Her S1 is quite good. It's just a regular basic attack, has no debuffs or anything like that, but the good thing about it is you just saw what happened there. It has a 40% chance to grant an extra attack with the same skill. So basically she attacks twice, and if it does, she does a crap ton of damage. Also, in PvP, all damage sharing effects are ignored, so things like Aureus or Troublemaker or SSB, all of that stuff doesn't work against ML Luluca. So without that damage mitigation, she does a lot more damage than other heroes could otherwise. Also, her soul burn is fantastic. It increases the effect chance to 100%, so basically guarantees that she attacks twice, but the best thing about it is that it only costs 10 souls, so it's actually quite economical. Her S2 is kind of like CDOM, so it's only a 4-turn cooldown at Mola, and it increases the combat readiness of all allies by 15% at max Mola, so a little less than CDOM. And it also gives her an extra turn, just like CDOM, and it gives her increased attack. So this is really good because it means that she doesn't need to be paired with an attack buffer because she has her own attack buff built in, and that's a very, very good thing to have. It makes drafting her much, much easier because normally with other damage heroes you really want to bring them with an attack buffer, and if it gets banned out it kind of neuters your damage. You'll never have that problem with ML Luluca. Now her S3 is a fantastic move. Let's just watch the animation. Looks pretty cool. She like flies into outer space and then just blasts someone into oblivion. But the main thing about this is that it inflicts extinction and decreases the caster skill cooldown by 1 turn if it kills somebody. So she turn cycles pretty damn quick. Maybe not, or skill cycles rather. This is obviously a hard counter to things like Arbiter Vildred, or Ruel, or Rowana, or literally anything in the game that revives. It's a permanent extinction. They cannot come back. Also, you'll notice she has stealth. So she gets stealth for 2 turns, which means she cannot be hit by anything other than AoE attacks. And she suffers decreased damage from AoE attacks. So when you pair with something like Dignus Orb, it actually gives her a good deal of survivability so that she can sit back and just continue to do heavy, heavy damage. Now let's go into her builds. Alright, so how do you build ML Luluca? Like most DPSs, it's actually fairly straightforward. My gear on her right now isn't that great, but obviously you want as much attack, crit chance, and crit damage as possible. She has pretty good base speed, 115 I believe, so you also want her to be fairly fast. Top players will probably be able to get similar stats to mine while also having more along the lines of 250 speed. If I put my Arbiters gear on her, I could probably get close to that. She's kind of on backup gear right now. But it depends. If you're using her in just like arena offense and Guild Wars offense, speed doesn't matter that much. If you bring her with a different pusher like Politica or something along those lines, if you're planning to bring her kind of solo, then you probably want her at least 230, probably more 240 or 250 speed. You can take away from some of these offensive stats to hit that if needed. Remember, you don't need anywhere close to this amount of damage to one-shot anything other than a tanky counterset Arbiter. If you could probably strip away like 70 crit damage or 700 attack, and you'll still one-shot an Arbiter easily. So basically get at least 3k attack, at least 200 speed, but ideally more like 240, 250. 100% crit is obviously always ideal, and 250 plus crit damage. And as your gear gets better, obviously elevate all those stats. In terms of artifacts, I think Dignus Orb is really your best bet. because with the stealth, it synergizes so well because, remember, she doesn't get knocked out of stealth unless the barrier gets broken. So it really protects that stealth and lets her stay nice and safe for a long time, which is important because her tankiness isn't that great if you build her offensively. Also, it increases the damage of the next attack by 15%, so basically it's like a built-in semi-upgraded portrait, which is obviously very helpful. The other option you could use if you kind of wanted to troll was something like Time Matter. This thing is pretty good as well because it reduces skill cooldown by 1 when an enemy is killed. So you can kind of S3 over and over and over again if you get this. But I'd say that's more of a trolly arena offense build. In arena offense, you could probably use anything. If you don't have either of these two artifacts, you could get away with using something like Tagahel's probably, maybe even Violin or something if you want her to kind of play a support role, or Abyssal Crown. But in general, I would say Dignus Orb is best in slot for top model Luluca, and that's the artifact I see everyone using when I run into her in RTA. So now let's go ahead and start the PvP showcase. Alright, let's see if ML Luluca can pull her weight. So we'll start off by stripping the barriers. We will push up the team with Seedom. And, I don't know, who should we go on? We'll just hit Rowana for now. Ooh, don't push them. Now we'll give Luluca the attack buff. And let's see, can Arbiter survive this S3 from ML Luluca? No chance. 17,000 through Aureus. What should we do here? Can we reset this Rowana? We can. And then we can try and stun this FCC. Just lock them all down. Oh, resisted. Greater attack, Alexa's. Well, we have skill nullifier, that's good. Ouch. Let's remove the skill nullifier from T-Surin. And I think we're good, so watch this, guys. The special thing about ML Luluca's S1 is that it ignores damage sharing, so this T-Surin, remember T-Surin can't get one-shotted, but let's see if ML Luluca can do it. Bam. Bam, and T-Surin is dead-deado. Now we can just burn this FCC, she's dead. And this match is a wrap, so ML Luluca was definitely the MVP here. Counters Arbiter Vildred, semi-counters T-Surin, because again, T-Surin can't survive 2 attacks. If you could get 2 separate attacks, her passive is nullified by it. So now, ML Lulu has her S3 again. I don't have attack buff because I had unbuffable, but let's see if we could finish this Rowana here without attack buff. She does manage it, so a nice, clean victory here, and this is the best use case for ML Lulu. Alright, so now let's try dicing up a speed cleave defense. So we'll go ahead and kill this Flitica. Our Athletica gets pushed up, so we'll push ourselves up as well. Nice. We can now push up the rest of our team. We will extinct this Arbiter. Guaranteed kill here. No chance. 22,000 damage. We'll just burn into this Remnant Violet, and then we'll just finish him off. So that Extinction from ML Luluca is just so freaking powerful. Now we can reset this Broman. And we have skill nullifier on our entire team now. And a nice clean win. So against Arbiter Vildreds, ML Luluca is just so strong. Now we'll just Soul Burn, even though it's probably not necessary, and this Broman is deado. So that's ML Luluca in a nutshell. She's just a very powerful hero, especially against Arbiter Vildred. Let's move on to the summary. Alright, so let's summarize. Top model Luluca, is she good? She's absolutely very good. I mean, most heroes I think are usually pretty decent, but top model Luluca I think is actually a top tier hero right now. So let's just go over the squirrely arena ratings. So arena offense, I think I'm going to give her an S, because with the self attack buff and the extinction, she just has so much utility. And with the stealth buff and the damage sharing ignoring S1 with the cheap soul burn, using her in arena offense felt very natural. Usually I have to experiment with new heroes before I start doing well with them. Top model Luluca, I just slotted her into a random arena team like you saw before, and she worked great. So I think arena offense, she's definitely an excellent pick, and on my own defense logs, I see a lot of people using her against me. Arena defense, I think I'm going to give her a D. I mean, maybe someone's using, I just don't see her on arena defense. She might even be an F, but I just don't see any reason to use her. I mean, with the way the AI works, I don't think it's going to prioritize an Arbiter Vildred or anything anyway. If you just bring Lightbait or something, I think she wouldn't even use this on Arbiter, so the extinction is not much of a benefit. I guess if you had some kind of cleave defense, you could use her on it, but still, it doesn't give a team-wide attack buff, just a self-attack buff, and she might S3 into something worthless, so I don't think she's great for that. Guild Wars offense, I'll give her a solid A. I mean, I feel like, in general, if you're going to play it safe, I'd much rather use something like Spectre Tenebria in this role, but again, if you're just sniping an Arbiter Vildred, I'm sure she'll work fine. So against Arbiter Vildred defenses, I think she'll be very, very effective, but in general, in Guild Wars offense, I like to go with something a little safer because she is quite squishy. With that said, I'm not saying she's bad. I'm just saying that her use case applicability is probably not as general as something like a Ruel. So if Ruel is an S, I don't think I could give top model Luluca an S, because there are very many teams I probably wouldn't want to bring her against at all. Guild Wars defense, I'm also going to give her a D. Usually arena defense and Guild War defense, they typically have the same problem. The thing is, like, the extinction is not really that valuable if the attacker doesn't even bring a reviver. And also, if they just bring a bunch of AoE damage, eventually they'll knock her out of stealth and just kill her. I don't think she's a strong pick in Guild Wars defense. RTA, this is a tough one. I'm going to go ahead and just give her the S, but she might be an A or an S. I do run into her a lot in RTA, and she does scare me because I draft Arbiter Vildred a lot. And against an Arbiter Vildred picker, it really forces them to consider their options, because a TM Luluca that's built correctly will always one-shot an Arbiter unless they MLDB or something. So it's a very dangerous threat, and considering that literally everyone in Champion and above has Arbiter Vildred, it's a very powerful addition to the kit, and since many people are running things like Ruel and other revivers, the extinction does have a very strong role in high-end RTA. On top of that, she just does a lot of damage. With her S1 Soul Burn, it hits really hard since it ignores Aureus. So definitely a very solid pick in RTA. So with that said, I think we can wrap up this review of ML Luluca. If you guys pulled for her and got her, congratulations. She's definitely a great hero. I'd say her main weakness is that she's kind of stat hungry. But most offensive heroes in the game are. But because she's fast and you typically want her to be fast enough to go early without a CR pusher, she's even harder to build than other things. Like some heroes like Sirmia, you just have to stack damage because you're never going to use her anyway without like Oxlots. But TM Luluca, you kind of want her to be able to play the speed game of her own accord and still hit decently hard. So she is kind of stat hungry. With that said, if you have any other questions, leave them in the comment section below. And thanks for watching. Till next time, peace out.